beloveds, and peace be with you. I'm Reverend Mitzi, and welcome to Unity of Tempe, whether you are here in person, yay, give a clap for all those in person, or watching online. If you're watching online, we do hope that you will be with us very soon. So this morning, I'm going to talk about food, and not the delicious snacks that Catherine brings us every week. Thank you, Catherine. We love your snacks. I'm going to talk about food for our spirit. Not that this isn't, but different types of food for our spirit. Food that nourishes our souls, and food that's low carb too. And today, we're going to do that by exploring one of the many appearances of Jesus after the crucifixion, and what that means for us metaphysically. So in John chapter 21, verses 1 through 14, the risen Jesus appears to 7 of his disciples, Peter, Thomas, Nathanael, the sons of Zebedee. I love saying that name. Let's just say it together because it's so joyful. Zebedee! And 2 others of his disciples at the Sea of Tiberias, which is also known as the Sea of Galilee. Now I'm going to tell you the story from the Gospel of John. So Peter said, "I'm going fishing." And the other disciples replied, "I'm going with you." And they immediately got in the boat. And they caught nothing that night. And when the sun came up, Jesus was standing on the shore, but they didn't recognize him. And Jesus spoke to them, "Children, have you any food?" "No." He said, "Cast the net on the right side of the boat, and you will find some." So they did, as Jesus suggested, and suddenly there were so many fish in the boat that they weren't strong enough to pull it in. And a disciple said to Peter, "Oh, it's the master." And when Peter heard that it was the master, he put on his outer garment and plunged into the sea. But the other disciples stayed in the boat, pulling the net of fish, for they weren't far from the shore. And when they got out of the boat, they saw a fire, and there was fish, and there was bread cooking on it. And Jesus said, "Oh, bring some of the fish that you just caught over here." So Peter joined them, and he pulled the net to shore, pulling 153 large fish. And even with all of those fish, the net remained intact. It didn't break. And Jesus said, Come over here and eat breakfast." And not one of the disciples asked, "Well, who are you?" For they intuitively knew that it was the master. And Jesus gave them some of the bread and fish from the fire, and they partook. So now we're going to break down this story, and we're going to see what golden nuggets this has for us metaphysically in the year 2022. So 7 of the disciples returned to Galilee, and Peter says, "I'm going fishing," and the others quickly follow. Now their spiritual needs were met when Jesus was with them physically, in physical form. But when they lost their leader, they sought solace by returning to what they used to do. And what did they used to do? They used to fish, right? They felt lost at sea metaphorically, so they returned to the sea literally. It's like they were trying to regain control as they felt increasingly out of control in a world that had changed vastly for them. Let me read that again. Listen carefully. It's like they were trying to regain control as they felt increasingly out of control in a world that had changed vastly for them. Oh, does that sound familiar for us? We're trying to regain control in a world that has changed vastly over the past couple of years. So the disciples returned to a familiar pattern. They've returned to what they knew before, right? And they hope that that will bring a sense of normalcy back to their lives. Oh, a sense of normalcy back to their lives. There's a lot in that for us right now. We keep trying to get back to normal. We're not going to go back to normal because we're in a new time. We're in a new time right now. And so the harder we push against going back to normal, the more we feel very frustrated. There's both comfort and urgency in their actions, for they not only want to establish a routine. Our routines were thrown off, weren't they, the last few years? But what else do they need to do? They want to establish back their livelihood, right? And for some of us during COVID, things thrived and went well. Through, I should say, the ongoing pandemic, right? Because we're not out of it. For others, things shut down completely. We relied on those checks that came in to help us, right? But some thrived, and that's wonderful. But what happens to these disciples? Well, things don't go according to plan. Why? Because what's worked before is not working now. And although all through the night they fish, they're out at sea, they're trying to catch these fish, and that is usually when the fish bite, nothing happens. They don't catch a single fish. And it's, yes, Angeline, yes. And it's very fascinating because night, metaphysically, is a very important theme in John's Gospel. And what does it represent? It represents dulled perceptions, toiling in the darkness, closed consciousness, the world without the light. So, of course, it's not surprising that the disciples don't catch a thing because they're stuck. And what are they stuck in? They're stuck in limiting beliefs, right? They're stuck in their limiting beliefs of, oh, that's how it worked, so it must work the same way now. And they're stuck in that moment of seeing things open up a different way. But at dawn, as the light emerges, the situation changes. Say with me, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. So important for us right now. So as night turns to day, Jesus, standing on the shore, calls out to them, "Children, have you any food?" So why does he call them children? Perhaps it's a term of endearment. Hey, kids. Hey, kiddo, good looking at you. Hey, kiddos. I mean, I wouldn't do that because it feels like diminishing to me. But maybe that is a term of endearment. Or perhaps he's suggesting that the disciples have regressed spiritually. Perhaps he's letting them know that they've forgotten who they are, what they learned from him, and that they are immature in their faith. What does that have to say for us, metaphysically? How often do we forget who we truly are? Yeah, thank you for raising your hand. Okay, let's do that and raise our hands. How often? I mean, you don't have to tell me, but do you ever forget who you truly are? Beloved children of God, here to be ambassadors of good? Oh, yes. And as we listen to that song that we sing every week, God is power and I am power. God is light and I am light. God is love and I am love. Maybe at one of those, you're like, yeah, that's the one that I have the hardest living into. Sometimes for me, it's the power. Sometimes it's that. It's God is power and I am power. Sometimes it's that for me. Saying, oh yes, I might forget that for myself for a moment. How often do we forget even for a moment? And here's another way to view Jesus calling the disciples children. For as Jesus said in Matthew, let's read this. Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Well, let's break this down. Where's the kingdom of heaven? Right here in us, right? And so what does this mean? We have to become like little children. Well, we know that children, Miss Angie Ling, and kittens and puppies are curious, right? They are so curious. Look she's like, hello, who are you? I want to greet you. And that's the same, you know, they want to get that every single thing is a new, wonderful adventure, Victoria. I see you, my beloved Victoria. Everything's a wonderful new adventure to be explored. Because children are hungry for discovery and they're hungry to learn. And everything is new. So what does this mean? Well, we can learn a lot from children, from their curiosity. Because when we're open, when we're curious about the world, we're being open. We're more willing to listen to that divine voice of the Christ within because we know we're not drowning it out with our own thoughts and our own beliefs. Anyone ever drown out that still small voice? It's like, you got this cycle going. I'll just speak for myself. I got this cycle going. Oh, I want to hear God. Get it off. You got to slow down. You move too fast. You got to make, what? Here I am breaking into song again. I don't know what's going on. Feeling groovy. Okay, I don't know. This happens sometimes. But Jesus' first words to them are, children, have you any what? Food. Yes, thank you, Jesus. We have tons of food right here. Come and partake with us. No, but seriously, this metaphorically is about spiritual nourishment. Gandhi said this, and I changed man to person because it's inclusive, right? So far more indispensable than food for the physical body is spiritual nourishment for the soul. One can do without food for a considerable time. We don't like to, but we could. But a person of the Spirit cannot exist for a single second without spiritual nourishment. Oh, well, we can exist, we can live on planet Earth. Yes, we can, but what happens to us when we're not in alignment with all those spiritual truths? We feel out of balance. We feel like, yes, exactly. We feel constricted. We feel like I'm not living full, loving, embodying peace, I'm constricted in some way. So while the disciples definitely needed physical food, they also have a deep yearning for spiritual food that Jesus provided when he was with them. And they're longing for it as they have not yet discovered their innate ability to go to the source within for sustenance. They can go within, but they haven't quite got that down yet, right? And so the disciples are disconcerted. I didn't catch a thing. My livelihood's all, I haven't got any food to eat. So when a seeming stranger calls out, cast your net on the right side of the boat, they're probably thinking, yeah, right. What exactly is that going to do? How is that going to be any different from me casting on this side? But what's really amazing is that they just do it. They sense something deep within them. They sense that divine presence, whether that really was Jesus, whether it was just within them, that's all up for us to figure out within ourselves. But they follow that divine guidance. They take out the nets and they cast them onto the other side of the boat, and soon what happens? The nets are overflowing with fish. Now, in our lives, has Spirit ever guided you to do something that seems counterintuitive? Ever? Yeah, everyone's nodding, yes. And you're like, wait, no, what? I'm going this way, but you're getting a nudge. Go this way now, go this way, and you're thinking, why? Are we willing to listen to that guidance rather than following the old patterns and the old behaviors that don't work now? Or, no, we're not. So we keep beating our heads against the wall. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, maybe if I try a little harder. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, wait, has anyone got any Advil, any aspirin? Ow, that hurts. Anyone ever tried to continue doing the same thing? I'm going to make this work. I will make myself fit in here. Perhaps it's time to listen to the voice of the divine. Life is made abundant with God's power. Listen and follow the voice of the Christ that guides you, even when it guides you to do something differently or to take a different path. Don't swim furtively against the stream. Flow with it. So the disciples didn't recognize Jesus at first. And my question is, what good in your life are you not recognizing or acknowledging? Maybe it's coming in a package that doesn't seem quite recognizable. Think about that for a moment. What good in your life are you not recognizing or acknowledging? In fact, take a moment to just name some things. What good, like health, we take that for granted a lot of the times. The air we breathe, our food. What other goods? What other things? Our cats, come on, something. Something that you're not recognizing or acknowledging. Your car, excellent. Something else. Your shoes, I love that, shoes. Our clothes. Air conditioning, our pool. Yes, all the wonderful things that people do that we forget about a lot of times. So Peter does not recognize Jesus, but he hears another disciple say it's the master. And perhaps he's recalling what Jesus had said before. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believed. What do we say? We will see it when we believe it. Not if we believe it. Wait, is that right? Yes, we'll see it if we believe it, right? We have to believe it fully first. And so what does he do? He dives into the water and he swims to shore. And this reminds you of another passage, because it does me, of Jesus walking on the water. Remember that one? And at first he's out there and he's walking and he's like, oh my goodness, I'm walking on water. This is so cool. I'm going over there. Whatever he's going, whatever's guiding him. And again, a story. But then as soon as he takes his mind off the Christ presence, what happens? He sinks, right? Has that ever happened to you? Take your mind off the goal, off the thing that is in front, the thing that you're really focusing on, the good, and then bam, all of a sudden we're sinking, right? Sometimes we have a focus and we have this idea that comes up. I talk about this a lot. We have this wonderful idea. And we're like, oh, I'm really going to do that. This is going to happen. And then before we even begin to implement it, what happens? It's too hard. I can't do it. Someone else has already done it. Oh my goodness, there's just no way. And we shut it down. We shut it down before we even start it. We stop. That happens to me as well. Anyone else it happens to? You got all these magnificent ideas. Bam. Taking our eye off. We're like, I'm going out to walk on the water. Oh, I'm sinking. Yeah. But this excitement, it caused Peter to don his shirt. I have no idea why his shirt was off, but he thought maybe it's more respectful, so I'll dive into the water with my shirt. So he puts his shirt on, and there's no fear. There's just love propelling him forward. And the other disciples arrive at the shore in the boat, dragging the fish-filled net. And they see a fire on the beach where bread and fish are cooking, and Jesus instructs them to bring the fish they caught. And they don't need it, as there's already enough food there, right? So why are they taking their fish? He's got the whole breakfast scenario set up there. Why do they have to bring their fish? Well, metaphorically and metaphysically, it's teaching them that it will now be their job to share their spiritual food with others, to spread the word of good so that they too can be fed. So tell all your friends about Unity of Tempe and invite them to be here with us on Sundays. Don't keep the secret, share it. When we do things for others, when we go shopping and make a great haul for the unhoused or for a food bank, how do we feel? Joyful. We feel filled up, because as we give, we receive. As we give out love, we feel so good. If we give out anger, how do we feel? We don't feel very good, right? Usually. So Peter goes back to the boat and he drags the net bursting with fish to the shore, and amazingly it doesn't rip. And this is an important message for us now in 2022. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, but in our spiritual hearts, Our spiritual truth is that God, the divine presence, is there, not ripping us apart. Even though we may be overflowing with conflicting emotions, bogged down with heaviness, our burden is lightened when we focus on Spirit. Jesus invites them to eat. He says, "Come, have breakfast." And he provides bread and fish, and the disciples add their own catch. And interestingly, not one of them says to him, "You know, I really didn't recognize you on the shore. I didn't know. I thought you were a stranger. Did you do something different with your beard? Got like a little goatee going on there? What about the hair? You got like a buzz cut going on now? What's going on, Jesus?" No, they all intuitively recognize the divine presence. And they fall into their role of communing with Spirit and being comforted by the presence. So here's the question. How do you recognize the Christ presence? How do you recognize it? We talk about it a lot. How do you recognize it? Contemplate that this week. Jesus is not there to lecture them. He simply invites them to be with him, eat with him, and connect. They had the Last Supper together. Could this be the first breakfast? Breakfast is the first meal of a new day, and each day brings a new dawn and a new opportunity to start again. What a reminder for us, right? No matter if we lacked faith the day before. Anyone lacked faith recently? Yeah? Or even the minute before, because we can always connect with the Christ presence anew. Anytime we feel disconnected or overwhelmed, we can reboot with Spirit. Now, Ron came up with a fabulous affirmation. All computer people are going to love, love, love this. Thank you, Ron. Let's say it together. I am closing all my open windows and tabs and rebooting with Spirit. My operating system is refreshed. Thank you, Ron. Let's do it again. I'm closing all my open windows and tabs and rebooting with Spirit. My operating system is refreshed. Who likes to have a lot of open windows? I mean, literally, me. My beloved husband is always coming over going, "You've got so many windows open." So it's a good reminder. We're rebooting anytime we want to. The divine presence abides in each of us. Let us give thanks for that truth. No matter what is going on in the world or in our own lives, may we remember that as we lean into God, we renew our connection, which we can never be apart from, with the divine Christ presence that lives and moves and has its being within us. Let us allow the divine source to feed us nourishing and supportive spiritual food to sustain and nurture our souls. God is our support and our source. And so, for our song, found this beautiful version of a song y'all are going to know. It's a real oldie, done by a beautiful French group. And I loved it so much, it's very joyful. So, enjoy.
My sweet Lord, ooh, my Lord, my sweet Lord. I really want to see you, I really want to be with you, I really want to see you, Lord, but it takes so long, my Lord. My sweet Lord, my Lord, oh my Lord, I really want to know you, I really want to go with you, I really want to show you, Lord, that it won't take long, my Lord. Hallelujah, sweet Lord. Hallelujah, oh my Lord. Hallelujah, my sweet Lord. Hallelujah. I really want to see you. I really want to see you. I really want to see you, Lord. I really want to see you, Lord, but it takes so long, my Lord. Hallelujah, oh my Lord. Hallelujah, my sweet Lord. Hallelujah, oh my Lord. Hallelujah, I really want to know you. Hallelujah, I really want to go with you. Hallelujah, I really want to show you love, but it won't take long, my Lord. Hallelujah, my sweet Lord. Hallelujah, my Lord. Hallelujah. My sweet Lord, Hare Krishna, oh my Lord, Hare Krishna, my sweet Lord, Krishna Krishna, my Lord, Hare Hare, really wanna see you, Hare Rama, really wanna be with you, Hare Rama, really wanna see you, Lord, but it takes so long, my sweet Lord. Hallelujah, oh my Lord. Hare Krishna, my sweet Lord. Hare Krishna, oh my Lord. Krishna Krishna, my sweet Lord. Hare Hare, oh my Lord. Guru Brahma, my sweet Lord. Oh my Lord, my sweet Lord, 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 my sweet
The dancing guy, love them all. They're so great. I think George Harrison would be very proud of that, but and approve. But the dancing guy, that's the exuberance of spirit overflowing within us. Just the exuberance of the divine cannot be contained within us. When we align with that divine power, thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, life. Thank you, thank you. Let us say together, I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good. What are we here to be? Ambassadors of good. Again, ambassadors of good. Yes, we are indeed here to be ambassadors of good. So I invite you now to take your blessings that you are sharing today to your heart and fold it. And for every single person here, see it coming back to them. See it coming back to them in multiplying in amazing ways. We see health, we see vibrancy, we see life, we see business, we see deals being completed, we see divine ideas prospering, we see emanation of love flowing through the universe. We see all of those things that are just inklings within our soul. getting light, getting wings, and breathing into this time now. For we know, as it says in Esther, perhaps we were born for such a time as this. So Divine Spirit, give us the wings to know how we are to fly, which way we are to be in this time, always emitting the divine Christ presence. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. And as we go to give, we also take a moment to bless these amazing donations to Matthew's Crossing Food Bank. Just fill those in. Fill those with love, with generosity, knowing that each and every person who receives any of these items, and any of the items from Epiphany, feels the presence of the divine moving within them. And that all of their needs, whatever they are met. Thank you, God, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for these gifts. We bless the giver and the receiver and the stewardship of their use. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Crystal and Kent. So this is our Unity of Tempe board. Give them a round of applause. Yay! So yeah, we'll have this up. If you have some concerns or some things that you want to talk to, see one of them. Yes, absolutely. If you have an idea and say, I wish we were doing this, be willing to do it. Don't come to us and say, now I want us to do this. Be willing to say, I would like us to do this, and I have a way to do it, and I'm willing to take the lead on it. Yes, we love that. Absolutely. So these are the items that are needed for Matthew's Food Bank. We're so, so grateful for you in partnering with us. I love that our community is doing this. It's a wonderful opportunity. We have some other opportunities coming up. There's some opportunities to serve with Habitat for Humanity with Epiphany in the fall. So I'll be getting more information about those. Yes, we're going to have you out there with a hammer and a nail, Angie Ling. We are. And we have one other opportunity that's coming up during the very, very hot weather right now. We did this at the old location. We're again, and we brought it to the Church of the Epiphany, and they said, what? Yes, we will do this. So we're collecting water to keep our unhoused neighbors hydrated. And Joe will be coordinating taking those to them. All you have to do, if you like, I'm at the store and I want to bring in some water, bring in. So it can be a 6-pack, a 24-pack, whatever it is. We'll make sure it's going to Guadalupe, to a watering station there. So let us say our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well, and we are grateful. So thank you, beloveds online, for watching us. We look forward to you being with us in person or joining us online next week. Make it a peace-filled, loving week.
I got these fresh eyes, never seen you before like this. My God, you're beautiful. It's like the first time when we opened the door, for we got used to usual. It might seem superficial, stereotypical man. You dress up just a little and I'm like, oh damn. So suddenly I'm in love with a stranger. I can't believe that she's mine. Now all I see is you with fresh eyes, fresh eyes. So suddenly I'm in love with a stranger. I can't believe that she's mine. Yeah, and now all I see is you with fresh eyes, fresh eyes. If I could bottle this up, bottle this up, I would bottle this up, bottle this up, I would. 'Cause you're gorgeous in this moment. If I could bottle this up, I would. So suddenly I'm in love with a stranger. I can't believe that she's mine. Now all I see is you with fresh eyes, fresh eyes. So suddenly I'm in love with a stranger. I can't believe that she's mine. Yeah. And now all I see is you with fresh eyes, fresh eyes.
Thank you so much for watching my Fresh Eyes video. This one was really sweet to make. It makes me want to cry even just talking about it. I've cared a lot about homelessness for a while now, and getting to apply the Fresh Eyes concept to this group of people who are way too often marginalized and even seen as invisible was a super powerful experience for me. So all the proceeds of this video are going to go to the Union Rescue Mission in downtown Los Angeles. If you feel moved and you want to donate to this mission that you see me in the video, please send all of your donations right here. And thank you so much for helping me spread the love.